The initial extraction we haven't done in-house, that's done through someone in PA, but we turn it into distillate, which is like a further, I guess, refinement process, just cleaning it up a little bit, taking out some things that you don't want, that kind of thing. And then that can be used in like our chocolates and body butters. It doesn't have a smell, really. The taste is very light, and it's not colored. It's like a gold honey goo.
You have to have a lot of storage room to hang it and process it and cure it. So you also have to have access to like a barn or a building or something. So that can be a struggle because that takes up a lot of room, and you have to have certain conditions.
Especially the way we do it, yeah.
And then also after that, if you want to turn products into oil, like you were saying, you have oil and then we turn it into distillate. So that's two pretty large processes, and one's an extraction.
Basically, what she's talking about is the initial oil that comes out is called crude oil. It's generally done through ethanol extraction. Cannabinoids are soluble in ethanol, so it's run over the product, pulled out. A few other processes are done from there, things to like decarb it and take the waxes and fats out of the plant. It's called winterization. And then it's ready for distillation, which is what we do. Basically a process of fractioning off all the different individual compounds using heat. Everything has its own vapor point, so I can put it under vacuum and heat it up to exact temperatures, and it'll pull off just terpenes, and it'll pull off just CBD. And so it pulls off all the individual, because there's 100 different cannabinoids, more than that. There's 14 generally that we'll see on our testing, and it's pulling all those off at different times. So we're separating and rebuilding back into a cleaner product. It's basically that process. About as simplified as I can get with that process. But then that distillate, it's activated, so you can eat it. It's orally active. You can use it on your skin. That's what goes into all of our products. And then, like I said before, it has all that gunk removed. The crude oil is like a black goo, and we turn it into like a clear gold honey.
So as hemp farmers, if you want to make other products besides smokable flower, you have to have the knowledge of chemistry to do things like that, and some money to put into your lab equipment, or you have to find places that do processing for you. And so that's a struggle around here, is that nobody processes around here.
Not in small amounts, at least.
Yeah, in small amounts, true. So if you're a large farm, yeah. But
most places won't accept you unless you have at least 5,000 pounds or 10,000 pounds, and that's way more. We're only doing less than an acre. Like, we're not going to get 10,000 pounds of material from less than an acre. So most people, most small farms, it's extremely difficult to find someone to process your material for you. And then again, you're now looking at a 50-50 split to get the crude oil. And if you want to bring it to distillate, you're looking at another 50-50 split, or 60-40, or depending on if you're able to get a laboratory that's willing to work with you. And then prices are really low, so you have to turn it into a finished product, because to get distillate right now, it's just insanely cheap. Almost offensive, it is offensive how cheap it is because of the mass production in some of the other states. So it's definitely a big hurdle in the market, is turning your product from a raw flower. Even just getting it out of the field is a huge step. You have to pull all the water leaf off so you don't have mold. Because otherwise, if you leave all the leaf on, you have all this extra water material in your dry room, you risk a pretty high chance for getting mold or some sort of bacteria. So there's just a lot of processes and individual steps that you have to take that can be really difficult if you don't have like a bunch of people at your disposal, or the equipment, or for instance, drying it. You can dry it in a barn, but if you want it to be smokable quality, then for us, like, we dry it in a pitch black room at like 60 degrees and 60% humidity, and it's like a whole controlled process. It gets cured in jars. I go there and burp them every day and shake them around, and it's just a slow process of bringing out the flavors, developing the quality, degrading the chlorophyll so you don't have a harsh smoke. So there's just a lot of science and fact and environmental factors that go into making a good product. That's a huge hurdle for a lot of people to have all that.
Oh yeah, and Mary wanted me to mention that that's kind of what makes us really special is Patrick's knowledge of cannabis and how we can teach other farms around here how to do those processes and make your smokable flower really good. So to get a good quality, it does take a lot of knowledge, and like I love how we work with other farms and how he brought that knowledge back from the West Coast. So that's big too. And our soil. Our soil contributes to that significantly as well.